Nepal is one of the most water-rich countries in the world. More than 6,000 rivers and streams cut across this small nation, carving valleys, shaping landscapes, and feeding millions of people downstream. But where did these rivers come from? Why are they so powerful? And how did the three great river systems, the Karnali, the Gandaki, and the Koshi, become what they are today? To understand Nepal's rivers, we have to go back tens of millions of years to a time before the Himalayas even existed. For most of Earth's history, the land we now call Nepal looked nothing like it does today. The Himalayas weren't there. Instead, the land was part of a flat, low-lying region near the ancient Tethys Sea. Around 120 million years ago, the Indian plate began drifting northward at an incredible speed, up to 15 centimeters per year, faster than any tectonic plate ever recorded. As India moved, small rivers flowed across its northern edge. These early rivers would one day become the ancestors of Nepal's modern river systems. They weren't mighty or powerful yet, but they were establishing the past that would later define a nation's geography. Then came the most dramatic event in Nepal's geological history, the collision between the Indian and Eurasian plates, roughly 50 million years ago. This monumental crash pushed up the ancient ocean floor, folded massive layers of rock, and lifted entire landmasses skyward, creating the Himalayas. But here's the fascinating part. Many of the rivers already existed before the mountains began to rise. Instead of being pushed aside by this tectonic upheaval, they just kept cutting down into the rising land. These are called antecedent rivers, ancient rivers that maintained their course despite the massive uplift. The foundations of the Karnali, Gandaki, and Koshi were now being set. The Karnali, which flows through western Nepal, is believed to be one of the oldest rivers in the entire region. It existed long before the Himalayas grew to their towering height. As the land beneath it rose, the Karnali kept carving deeper and deeper, forming the steep canyons and gorges we see today. The Karnali cuts through some of the most remote and rugged landscapes in Nepal. Its deep valleys and sharp drops reveal millions of years of relentless erosion. The age and stability of the Karnali explain why the western Himalayas have fewer but much deeper valleys compared to the east. If the Karnali is ancient, the Gandaki is dramatic. The Gandaki River flows through the Kali Gandaki Gorge, which many geologists consider to be the deepest gorge on Earth when measured by its sheer vertical relief. The river itself sits at around 2,500 meters above sea level. But towering above it are two Himalayan giants, Dhaulagiri at 8,167 meters and Annapurna at 8,091 meters. The difference between the riverbed and those peaks is more than 5,500 meters. This incredible depth exists because the Gandaki, like the Karnali, is an antecedent river. As the mountains grew, it stubbornly refused to change its path, slicing vertically through the rock that was rising all around it. For millions of years, the Himalayas tried to lift, and the Gandaki just carved right back down. The Koshi in eastern Nepal is the most unpredictable and powerful of the three major river systems. Why? Because it drains meltwater from 8 of the world's highest mountains, including Everest, Lhotse, Makalu, and Kanchenjunga. When you combine that immense glacial melt with intense monsoon rainfall, you get an enormous seasonal flow. The Koshi carries more sediment than any other river in Nepal, so much, in fact, that in the last few centuries, it has changed its course multiple times across the plains of Bihar in India. This is why it's often called the sorrow of Bihar, although in Nepal, it remains a vital lifeline. Geologically, the Koshi is considered younger and more dynamic than the Gandaki and Karnali, constantly reshaping the land through erosion and deposition. So why does Nepal have so many rivers in the first place? There are 3 main scientific reasons why Nepal has one of the densest river networks in the world. First, the Himalayas are still rising. This continuous uplift forces water to move rapidly downhill, creating powerful, fast-flowing streams. Second, the monsoon. Nepal receives intense seasonal rainfall, which feeds thousands of streams and rivers. And third, the glaciers. Over 3,000 glaciers in the Himalayas release meltwater all year round, ensuring a constant supply of water to the river systems, even during the dry season. All of Nepal's thousands of rivers eventually belong to one of three great systems. The Karnali system in West Nepal is defined by its ancient landscapes, deep valleys, and powerful erosional patterns. The Gandaki system in central Nepal is known for its ancient channels, the world's deepest gorge, and its fossil-rich valleys. And the Koshi system in East Nepal is the youngest, most active, and carries the highest sediment load. Together, these three river systems have carved Nepal's entire geography, shaping the hills, valleys, and plains that we see today. The rivers of Nepal are not just water. They are the memory of the land, ancient pathways carved through rising mountains. The Karnali, Gandaki, and Koshi tell the story of Earth's most dramatic collision and the creation of the Himalayas themselves. Every valley you see, every gorge you cross, every riverbank in Nepal is a chapter in a geological story that began long before humans existed. This is the story of Nepal's rivers, a story written by time, water, and the unstoppable rise of the Himalayas. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories about our incredible planet.